Everybody's ready. We'll go ahead and begin this meeting with a pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, now we'll have roll call.
Dan Pillow.
Here.
Jennifer Wiehe.
Here.
Kathy Byess.
Here.
Ann Pillow.
Here.
Al Glick.
Here.
Pam Jackson.
Here. And then we'll start with the clerk's report when she's ready.
You should have the minutes from the last meeting, which was May the 19th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for May 19th, 2025.
I'll second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Al Glick. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow.
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe.
Yay.
Kathy Byess.
Yay.
Ann Pillow.
Yay.
Al Glick.
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
You should have pay ordinance 6A. This is for biweekly payroll that was dispersed on May 30th. From the general fund, $4,211.50. From the sewer fund, $1,425.26. From the water fund, $1,476, for a combined total of $7,112.76.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 6A, 2025.
I'll second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, seconded by Al Glick. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow.
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe.
Yay.
Kathy Byess.
Yay.
Ann Pillow.
Yay.
Al Glick.
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Then you should have 6B again for biweekly payroll that was paid on June the 13th, dispersed from the general fund, $4,100.80. From the sewer fund, $1,476. From the water fund, $1,531.35, for a combined total of $7,108.15.
I'll make a motion that we accept ordinance number 225 6B.
I'll second it.
Motion by Jennifer Wiehe, second by Al Glick. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow.
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe.
Yay.
Kathy Byess.
Yay.
Ann Pillow.
Yay.
Al Glick.
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Then you have 6C. This is for monthly salaries dispersed, $7,200 from the general fund, $7,200 from the water fund, $1,058.82, for a combined total of $8,258.82.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 6C 2025.
Second it.
Motion by Ann Pillow, second by Al Glick. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow.
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe.
Yay.
Kathy Byess.
Yay.
Ann Pillow.
Yay.
Al Glick.
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Then you have 6D, and this is for accounts payable. From the general fund, $4,972.31. From the water fund, $1,347.43, for a combined total of $6,319.74.
I'll make a motion to approve 6D, 2025.
I'll second it. Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Ann Pillow. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow.
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe.
Yay.
Kathy Byess.
Yay.
Ann Pillow.
Yay.
Al Glick.
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Then you have 6E, again, this is for accounts payable. From the general fund, $20,987.13. From the We Thrive Fund, $1,606.34. From the water fund, $9,177.29. For a combined total of $31,770.76.
I'll make a motion to approve 6E, 2025.
I'll second. Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Jennifer Wiehe. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow.
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe.
Yay.
Kathy Byess.
Yay.
Ann Pillow.
Yay.
Al Glick.
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Then you should have a copy of the Addyston Board of Public Affairs meeting from May the 11th, their minutes, from that meeting, their collection report from April, which is money they collected in the month of May, and their payment disbursement sheet.
Council, what's your pleasure?
There are 2 sets of minutes, but we're doing them separate.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from Water Board minutes from May 12th, 2025.
I'll second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Kathy Byess. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick, Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Now you have a set in front of you, and this was from their most recent meeting on June the 9th. It also includes minutes from their April 17th meeting and the April water report for the amount collected during the month of March and their pay ordinance for May. I would like to point out, if you go down to the 7th paragraph, the board voted to remove Dwayne Jackson from his duty as the water board trustee due to the fact of meeting consecutive meetings.
Missing.
Margaret, are you aware of, or do you know, or do we need to ask somebody from the board if this is a rule that's been always enforced?
I'm sorry, Dan.
Do you know, or should we ask somebody from the board, is this a rule missing 2 consecutive meetings? Is that what you
It's
said?
actually in the council rules.
Huh?
It's actually in our council rules.
Well, has council ever enforced that particular rule?
Well, I do know that, I think he's missed
3 meetings.
3 meetings, and
So they try to call him.
the board, you know, that was their action by the 2 board members, so.
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
I don't know. I do believe it's happened before. I think that's how we ended up with, Mr. Please?
Holiday.
Yeah, when Holiday, when he was, and then I think,
That was somewhat of a longer run, but
Yeah.
be that as it may, that's just my question.
But still, if there's no call, no reason.
Not answering the phone.
My
Yeah.
question remains the same, is
Yeah,
that
that's,
what we've always done? Mr. Holliday's case, it went a long time. So anyway, that's my question. If anybody wants to follow up on it, that's fine.
well, I think that actually happened with the seat that Mr. Jackson filled. I believe that he was out of town for a couple meetings, and that's when they declared his seat vacant, and Mr. Jackson was appointed to the seat.
Who was that? I'm sorry.
Mr. Harvey, Cliff
Yeah.
Harvey,
Yeah,
because he was in Florida for like 2.5 months or something, and
yeah.
so
Mhm. Just wanted to be clear on that. Thank you.
you're welcome. Any action by council?
I'll make a motion to remove Dwayne Jackson from the water board.
Are you making a motion on
I
the
think they
minutes?
already did.
Did they already do that? Oh.
Yes, they did it. You're just concurring on the
I'm
minutes.
concurring.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Motion by Kathy, second by Al Glick. Is there any further discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
I was abstaining,
you abstain?
yes.
Okay. Jennifer
I just
Wiehe?
want to look at the records myself. So,
Jennifer Wiehe.
Yay.
Kathy Byess?
Yay.
Ann Pillow?
Yeah.
Yes. Al Glick?
Yay.
Pam Jackson?
abstain.
Motion carried. I'm right on the vote, but it's 4-2. Majority went with the yay.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
2 abstentions go
Yeah.
with the majority.
And you received a copy of the revenue status as of June 12th. And
Were they going to approve this first, at least the April in this packet?
Sorry.
Because this is not a draft here, April 7th.
Okay, well, apparently there was another set of minutes in there from April the
17th, yeah.
17th.
Those aren't a
This,
draft.
I think what happened here was the regular meeting was scheduled for the week before, but their board clerk went home sick or was out sick, so they didn't meet and they had the meeting later, and it was the 17th.
All right, so we need a motion for
Yes.
to approve the minutes
Yeah, that
from
one's
April
not a draft.
17th,
Yes.
2025.
Motion so moved.
I'll
Second.
second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Kathy Byess. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow?
Will this motion include the approval to dismiss Mr. Jackson?
No, that's still on
That's
the draft.
that's a different set of
Yeah.
minutes.
Thank you. Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yeah.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Okay. You have a copy of the revenue status and appropriations as of June the 12th. I don't want to say April. I think that's all I have now.
All right, thank you very much, Margaret. There's one thing that I would like to get cleared up. I just received an email again, and I've asked before. It's through the water grants for the $50,000 for a generator. If we're not going to do that, they're asking me to at least let them know if we're going to move forward with the project or not. So I need some kind of answer. This is like the third time that they've asked. And I've brought this up before. If we're not going to do it, we just need to let that go.
Mayor, what would be our holdup is to not getting that grant? Is there a match or something that?
Oh,
we're
yeah,
worried
we have
about?
to pay it up front.
We have to pay the full $50,000 up front to get the grant. They'll reimburse us. But right now, I don't know where you would get $50,000.
So I just kind of have to let them know, if we're going to not do this, then I can let them know that we're not going to do this.
Well,
If we don't have the money to pay it up front, then there's no way we can do it.
Because I mean, your total amount's going to be around $75,000 anyway,
Right.
to get everything all said and done with the
So we would
transfer
have to pay that
switch
all
and
up front?
everything. Yeah, oh,
The whole
yeah.
75,000? That's work.
I just need to let them know which direction we're going to go on it.
I'm sitting here thinking.
Do you want to come back to this and think about it?
Well, I do have a couple more questions, if you don't mind. This generator is for what again? The water? Or how much money does the water board have?
It doesn't have that money in there. It does not have $50,000 extra in their accounts, Dan.
Yeah, well, that's what's important is the grant for them, see if they had money in their account, sure.
Because we're going to run out of time on it.
Mhm.
So they're just wanting to know where we at. We're supposed to at least started it within a year. So. If you guys want to come back around to it, I'm okay with that. Or we can put that in Al's lap for a later meeting.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, actually, it wouldn't be only Al, it would be finances too.
yeah, I mean, because you gotta figure out where the money would
We don't
come
have
from.
money.
On
just
both
went there.
Well,
sides.
they've been struggling with this for 3 years,
Yeah.
and it's the same answer. They just do not generate enough revenue to have $50,000 to apply for a grant.
I mean, if they ain't got money to come up with half, and we would have.
You don't have half.
We don't have half.
We don't
Come out
have
of
half.
general
So
fund.
even if they let it go, that's fine. Right.
We hate to give up a grant, but
It could be a mood point anyhow.
Could be,
Could be. That's
could be.
kind of where we're at too.
Well, I'm telling you as the clerk,
Oh, well,
I know what the monies are.
Oh, we know.
And the water board does
Yeah.
not have it, and neither does the village, even if you would say half and half.
Yeah.
The village does not have it. Nor do I anticipate them having it, say like in the next 4 or 5 months.
We can always try to get Ineos to pay for it.
Right, that's what I was thinking. Everything's possible.
I mean, if you just want to table that right now, council, that's fine.
I just table it for now.
Yeah.
Maybe do what we come up with.
I'll make a motion, we table the discussion on the loan.
I'll second it.
Okay.
On the grant.
On the
Yeah.
grant.
Yes, on the grand loan.
Grant.
I had loan in my mind. I was wondering if we could get a loan. I hate to see money just go away.
Motion by Dan Pillow, we got a second by Al, correct?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion? We'll go ahead and table that for now. We'll come back around to it. Call for the vote.
Ann Pillow,
Yeah,
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yeah.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay. All right, I'm going to move on to our solicitor. He has some ordinances in front of you tonight.
I have an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to sign an agreement with Event Enterprises Company for a stage on August 2nd, 2025, music in the park event.
I'll make a motion that the rules be suspended, said ordinance be read 3 times by title only, and declared an emergency.
I'll second it.
Motion by Dan Pillar, second by Al Glick. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
First reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to sign an agreement with Event Enterprises Company for a stage on August 2nd, 2025, music in the park event. Second reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to sign an agreement with Event Enterprises Company for a stage on August 2nd, 2025, music in the park event. Third reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to sign an agreement with Event Enterprises Company for a stage on August 2nd, 2025, music in the park event.
I'll make a motion to adopt as read.
I'll second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Al Glick. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson. This will be number 15.
And I have an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to hire Don't Tell Steve Band for performances for a performance on August 2nd, 2025, music in the park event.
I make a motion to suspend the rules, read the ordinance 3 times by title only, and declare it an emergency.
I'll second. Motion by Jennifer Wiehe, second by Pam Jackson. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
First reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to hire Don't Tell Steve Band for performance on August 2nd, 2025, music in the park event. Second reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to hire Don't Tell Steve Band for a performance on August 2nd, 2025, Music in the Park event. Third reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to hire Don't Tell Steve Band for performance on August 2nd, 2025, Music in the Park event.
I'll make a motion to adopt as read.
I'll second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Kathy-Byess. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy-Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
This will be number 16.
Then I have an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to execute documents for vendors participating in 2025 Music in the Park event. Second read. Oh,
Get it straightened out.
I'll make a motion that the rules be suspended, said ordinance be read 3 times by title
We'll
only,
get there.
and declared an emergency.
I'll second it.
Motion by Dan Pillow, seconded by Al Glick. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy-Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
first reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to execute documents for vendors participating in the 2025 Music in the Park event. Second reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to execute documents for vendors participating in the 2025 Music in the Park event. Third reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to execute documents for vendors participating in the 2025 Music in the Park event.
Make a motion to approve as read.
I'll second it.
Motion by Ann Pillow, second by Al Glick. Any further discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy-Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
There's 2 other ordinances that council wanted. One was on the earnings tax, and that'll probably require council to take a look at the whole earnings tax ordinance, which I'll get that to you here probably by this weekend. And the second one is the levy tax, and that one I'm going to take down to the auditor's office to make sure it's all approved before council passes it. Because a lot of times they're prepared and then we have to go back. So I was gonna take it down and make sure it's okay. It may require a special meeting,
Yes.
but
Yeah, it's gonna require a special
Yeah.
meeting.
and then when the earnings tax comes up, there was a third request in there that council would probably need to meet in special session when the earnings tax is not in, well, I would have to meet in special session, but then go into
Executive session.
correct executive session to discuss the third ordinance.
All right. Thank you, Bob, appreciate that.
On the income tax issue, I did reach out to the contact that I use at Rita and talk to her a little bit about it. I would like to invite somebody from Rita to come to a special meeting with council to just discuss the earnings tax and other avenues, because we are losing about $400,000 of earning tax money, and we need to talk to the experts. So as soon as I can get that organized, I'll talk to the mayor and we can get a special meeting and hear what they have to say.
Thank you, Margaret.
You're welcome.
All right, we're gonna move to committees. Dan Pillow?
Thanks, Mayor. We are continually working on the park celebration. A few setbacks we're still working on. Still trying to get some music involved so we can follow pretty much what the Special Events Committee has done, and making sure we have all the ordinances in place for any contracts that we might have. So we're looking at whenever you have a special meeting, we can get those things covered too. We've had a couple of bands for various reasons who cannot make it on that date, so that throws us into the search mode. Al's helping us out with that. And if it doesn't happen, it's all right. We have alternate plans just to provide music. If it's nothing but canned music, we can get that done. As you know, we've been sending out publications via various media outlets, and we'd like to thank Chuck there for getting it up on his site very quickly, and the community could, at large, could be a part of that. We have postings. Obviously, I sent council a list of the things that we're making sure that we have in place for that particular day. So we're still a little bit of work in progress. We don't have a lot of time, but the major parts of it are all together. We've sent out email invitations to all those people who have worked with us. You should see one in your email. If other than the one that we sent earlier, you should see one in your email again with information and the invitation to attend. We certainly are looking for all the volunteers we can get, and we are not trying to have council, because council will be a part of the program itself, doing the volunteer work. The same with the committee. We really want to make this a fun but semi-formal event as well. So we're very excited about this particular program. Anybody have any questions? Thank you, Mayor. That's all I have right now.
Thank you, Dan, appreciate it. Jennifer?
Just from the last meeting, I did hand out what I was trying to print. There's a few things that I think we did not go over. I think on the second page of what it was, of the little packet that I gave you, it's for the website to be able to, I guess, advertise what we offer in the park. We didn't get to discuss that last meeting. It was brought up in the committee meeting that we would like to add this to our website.
There is a question I do have. Well, for all of you, really. You have the last 3 pages for the signage. Is there a particular size?
We
And
did
particular
not
look
discuss
to it?
size, and we did not discuss look. We
I mean,
were
I've seen some that Trey, Signs by Trey has, and they're about like this, which I think would be,
Yeah.
we didn't
it's
discuss-
typical size. So I didn't know, I just wanted to know if it's okay to go ahead and order these, and if that size would be appropriate.
I think that would be
I think they're
appropriate.
11 by 18 or something like that.
Because if you go to other parks, that's about average. It's
We
Just
did-
black and white?
yeah, Just black and white.
Okay. Can I get that in the form of a motion?
I'll make a motion to authorize you to
Go ahead and get those.
get the signs.
Black and white.
It's three-
All right.
It's 3 of them.
I'll second it. Motion by Pam Jackson, second by A.M. Pillow. Is there any further discussion on that?
Mayor, I do have one thing that I talked to Jennifer about very briefly since we've been here. In light of the 3-on-3 basketball court thing that was held without the permission, I spoke to the people who were sponsoring it and asked them to make sure they go through the protocol and at least let the village know that they're going to have those kind of events, because it is a public park, and we just can't have everybody come in and say, this is my park. They should go through the same protocol as for the pavilion,
Yeah.
and making sure that we know.
Yeah, I think definitely get,
Definitely.
right now we'll get the signs done. We
Yeah.
can go ahead and vote on that.
Okay.
I want to continue to discuss that.
Okay, I thought there might be a sign for that too.
Oh, well, if there's one here, it's getting printed the way you put it.
Well, unfortunately, there is not one there
Okay.
because when we had the meeting, that was
Just-
not an issue.
Okay. So probably have that again, because we're going to have to sort out your social.
Are they suggesting that they rent the basketball courts?
See, that's why I said they need to go back to the table with different.
Right, that needs to go back.
Because we
to the
got a
table.
special events permit too that needs to be looked
Well,
at.
I think if somebody's from out of our area, out of town, is gonna take the basketball court and have a tournament, that they should definitely have a special event form done as well.
Most definitely.
So if you could take that back to the committee and review those,
Most definitely.
Yeah.
that really needs to be done.
As I assured the guys who were playing, and they play a lot over there, it's really crowded anymore to get on the basketball court. We welcome them, there's no question about coming and playing, but having a formal event and kind of taking over the court without us knowing it is not acceptable.
Okay.
Call for the vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yeah.
Pam Jackson.
Yeah. Do you have anything else, John?
No, that's it.
Not at this time, Mayor, thank you.
All right, thank you,
I'm
John.
okay.
You okay? I'll keep checking that.
I don't have anything on my committee, but I do have a couple things. I had a couple residents come to me about some concerns. If I can bring them out now, or do you want me to wait?
It's your table right now.
Okay. I had a couple residents on First Street concerned with the trailer up there. The gentleman is living in that trailer and dumping his waste in the yard, apparently. She's very upset. She said if he can park that there, why can't she park her boat on the road? So that was one concern.
The truck or trailer?
That trailer, the one trailer, the white trailer.
Camper trailer.
You know, the camper trailer where the guy's living in.
Camper trailer, Bob, we gotta get on that camper trailer.
Yeah.
Let me ask you
That was wrong.
I don't even know his name.
He knows, he's got the whole,
Yeah. The other thing is somebody posted on Addyston Kids about the post office being dirty. That's the post office's job to clean that, right?
yes.
Because they said it's just disgusting in there. So the floors haven't been mopped or, it's pretty gross.
They should tell Kelly all about it.
Yeah, they should. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cute. Yeah, and then the other thing is, I know last council meeting, I was up here talking about the car that was parked without tags in front of the houses down there. That was a stolen vehicle that had been sitting there for 2 weeks.
Oh, I remember you saying something about
Yeah.
that, yeah.
For 2 weeks it sat there. With no tags and stolen. The reason I know that is because the sheriff called me and asked me if I had any footage on my camera of who drove it.
Got it.
So,
Well, that's been dealt
I
with.
didn't because it deletes after a week. I mean, it was parked in a driveway and the one neighbor, Tammy, made them clean that driveway out because that's her driveway. So somebody pushed it down into the street or drove it or whatever, so.
Was that SUV or whatever?
No, it was a little black car. I don't even know what kind of car it was. It didn't have no tags on it. It had a sheriff's sticker on it, but I think when the sheriff tagged it, they must have moved it into the driveway. And then when Tammy got on them, they moved it back out into the,
Yeah.
out on the street, so.
Do you have anything else, Kathy?
No.
All right, thank you, Kathy. Miss Ann?
I really don't have much to add, or Dan's already talked about the park and what's going on there as we prepare for the June 28th function to celebrate the opening of the park. Jennifer, the one thing, or maybe you can tell me, did we give Aaron a form to give to the people to say that they had registered and had paid for the park? You know,
Yeah,
like,
she does.
that she has a form that she gives them. Then
Danny
somebody
dropped it
asked
off.
me,
And she has a calendar book she's keeping.
yeah.
Oh, like
Just so
that. I
if
see what
somebody,
you're saying. Right.
when somebody goes to the park, they have a piece of paper that says they're officially registered.
Okay.
Hopefully to keep down arguments.
Yeah, I know down at the park, I think something was posted about the 3-on-3, but there was no price on it. And I think some kids were asking if they could join, but there was no price. We told them that, you know, there is an entry fee, but some of these kids can't afford it in the village, so.
Yeah, we kept it minimal because
I
like
mean-
$10,
I know, but some of them just can't, you know.
I'll pay for them then if
I'll
we
help.
run into some.
I will
Just
help
tell them come and
also.
see me.
Yeah, there's just no
We'll
price on that over there, so
Yeah.
no, it's kind of conflicting. When they come here, they're asking for money, but over there, it doesn't say there's an entry fee.
I'll be willing to sponsor someone that needs
Absolutely.
help also.
All right,
Let Aaron know that too, Mayor.
will do.
If it comes to that, yeah.
Give Miss Ann the floor back,
I'll be
please.
help, especially a
Yeah,
child.
yeah, we want them to
I will definitely
participate.
help a child.
Absolutely.
All right,
Help a child.
Miss Ann.
That's all.
Thank you, Miss Ann. Appreciate that. Al?
Only thing I have is pretty much because the water board, I went to the water board meeting, this last meeting, and they need another third person now. And we all know Dwayne's out, so they're looking for a third person. And I give them some information on NEOS as well and stuff like that, and talk to them about that stuff. I mean, NEOS is closing down, they're starting August. There are 11 people laid off. September, 37 people laid off, and every 14 days after that. So it is happening a whole lot quicker than what we really think it's happening. And it's on the move. I mean, we've all got that email, we've seen it, where they're starting them so much per month, and every 14 days after. So by December, they're gone. I mean, we've got to do something there, being a council. But other than that, you know, and then we got that stuff for the park going on, I'm trying to get the van stuff for you. But other than that, that's all I've got.
What about the PRV?
Well, we don't have no information really on the PRV yet. About them dying in?
Yeah.
No, the PRV is our emergency connection in Cincinnati.
Yes. That's what I was.
We cannot, no,
That was on my
keep putting that
main
off.
thing,
That's on
right?
yeah.
To get that fixed up there, to tie into Cincinnati's waterworks up there when we need an emergency waterworks. I don't know if you figured that, what parts we needed for that, or?
The City of Cincinnati, Greater Cincinnati Waterworks Machine Shop, they do that. They have a group that's all they do are regulators. Everybody familiar with the PRV right there at First and Fiddler's Green. It reduces the pressure down from Cincinnati to Addyston pressure. It's 181 PSI on the inlet side of that thing. And it's a physical connection that's interconnected with the city. It gives us some redundancy. In the event that, you know, we lose our well pumps, if the PRV is serviced and inspected and tested, we can open that up and feed Cincinnati water into the system, into the Addyston system, and have a potable supply of drinking water and fire protection. So it should flood the whole system and fill the tank as well. But right now, it's not been inspected or tested.
I mean, we really gotta get that done, because if something happens,
That's
we don't have
why-
nothing to tie in.
And not only that, the
Really,
EPA is on our,
right
that's
now.
on our
Yeah.
list.
Right,
Right now.
'cause, yeah, we've been talking about this.
Talk and talk and talk. Let's
Yeah.
get
So
it
we
done.
need to get that done.
I mean,
and-
we authorized it, I just don't know.
Let's just
when.
do it. Make a motion right now to get that
We
done.
already
We already did that.
it.
Okay, let's do it.
For the 13,000?
Even if it's 20,000, get it
It's
done.
been a while
It
ago.
was 3 or 4 months ago.
I think you made a motion for them to look into doing it
Yeah.
with Hamilton County funding. And I think that Mike had put something together and the mayor had reached out to community development.
So we
They'll
did
only-
get 5,000.
They'll only give us so much, so the water board's gonna have to
So we
add
need
like
to approve the
8,000
rest of it.
to get it done. So the rest of it needs to be in a form of a motion and get it done.
Well, I make the motion that we do this like tomorrow.
I second it.
If we have to take it out of the savings account, that's
Okay,
what we'll do.
motion by Pam Jackson. Who gets the
She
second?
can have it.
Jennifer Wiehe, second. Is there any further discussion?
And I'd say take it from, we know the savings account, Margaret, there's enough there for that?
There might be enough, I have to look and
Right.
see if there's enough in their loan account because they paid off their
Right.
last loan they had. And we might be able to move money from that to their general operating fund.
Right,
Yeah.
so it doesn't strain our other
But
accounts.
this is with the Cincinnati, City of Cincinnati coming out and doing the work, Mike. Once we can coordinate it with Hamilton County to pay half, and then we'll come up with the other half once I check and see what's available in their
Well,
loan,
it
the
is,
water loan.
we just have to do it like we normally do with
Yeah.
April, not Kelly,
Yeah.
but April.
April, yeah. We would
Yeah.
have to do it, do all of it, pay for it, and send it to
Send
her
it
for
to get
her share.
reimbursed for that share, correct.
What was the total on that again, please?
13,000.
13,000.
And we,
And Mike, are
April
you
was
gonna be able to
give
do
us
this, or is
5.
that something that you're gonna need additional?
Well, what's gonna have to happen is if we agree on the 13 grand, we accept the quote, we will have to enter into a service agreement with the city of Cincinnati, Greater Cincinnati Waterworks, so they can legally take care of their business with us. And there is the 3 to 4
I think we already
month.
have that.
We
I'm
do
good.
have a service agreement, it might be old, but we've always had something in place in the event we had to go to the city.
I think we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, whatever, we can.
Cincinnati's,
We'll talk about it.
yeah, I think it's very.
So
But
we
there-
have a motion on the floor,
Seconded.
seconded.
No further discussion? Call for the vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Mayor, while we're talking about water, did I read somewhere where we were investigating, looking at possibly hooking into Cleese? Did I see
It was on the news.
$800,000? Oh, that was on the news,
Yeah,
okay.
it was on the news.
I knew I heard it.
More than once.
Yeah, it's very new. That's why
Yeah, we
the
don't
next
have
thing
no
that Al needs to
information.
schedule is a committee meeting,
Yes, that is what I wanted to look at you guys for now.
because that's you
When
and
we need to have
Pam.
the committee meeting, whenever you guys are available.
For the
Public
water.
Works.
Public Works, that's Pam and Jennifer.
Oh, are you sure?
We just looked at it today.
What committee was it?
Jennifer Anderson used to be on.
We looked at it today and
The Public Works Committee needs to
Oh,
have a
Public
meeting
Works.
because there is a lot of information that needs to be discussed.
we looked at it today with the switching, because Kathy was already on the committee and she's not chairman, Al become the chairman, and she became a member and Pam's on it.
Who's on it? You've got the first one out, Al.
I've got the old one, I think.
Yeah, I think that's all.
Yeah, good. Public Works, yeah, it was Kathy and Dan and Pam.
I think it was me.
Yeah. Dan,
Public Works,
Dan and Pam.
Anderson.
This is Kathy.
Is it
Dan,
24?
Pam.
Not here anymore.
Yeah, so
This is 24.
responsibilities or do they
She
change?
did, didn't she?
Oh, I
She
don't
took her
know.
seat. Al took my
So-
seat.
So Al is.
Originally you took Jen's seat, and then y'all switched.
well, it looks like it is
That puts
Dan
Al there, I guess.
and
It's not.
Well, here's
me.
what it
It
is.
ain't me.
You're on Health and Sanitary, Jennifer,
Me too.
all right? Dan, you're on Public
Public
Works. I switched seats between Al and Kathy. Kathy took Chair of Health, and I added Jennifer because I took away an extra.
I didn't know that.
You're a member of that now. And then he is Chair of the Public Works.
Did not know that.
We got that straightened out?
No, we
So
didn't.
is Dan.
Yes.
Dan and Pam,
Correct.
yes.
Put my eyeballs back on, see what I can do here.
That way Dan can indulge in all that information.
Fun, fun,
Thank
fun.
you.
Hey, you're welcome.
so please let me know when you're scheduling it so I can post it.
So are you the Public Works now?
I am.
Oh.
No,
Kathy's the chair.
he's the chair of Public Works. You got me confused, Danny.
Stop it.
What about the 23rd?
Al is the chairman of Public Works.
Okay,
Yes.
great. All right.
23rd look good?
When,
23rd,
what day is that?
Next Monday?
next Monday?
Yeah, I was hoping that we would have our special meeting next Monday, but that's okay, we can have it Tuesday.
I mean, we can have it in the day, it don't matter. 'cause We can have ours earlier in the day. It's just us three like
I
we
guess he's
do.
talking about the one, what special meeting was he talking about?
Oh, no, I'm just thinking ahead, because
Oh,
we've got several things we have to,
Yeah, we have to do a
have
lot
done
of
for
things.
special meetings.
Yeah.
But whatever, yeah, that's works for me.
Whatever time works for you.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, noon's fine with me. 1?
kids
Yeah.
there
I
involved.
have to wait till, my
Yeah, you
husband's
got,
home.
yeah.
So, 1:30, 2 o'clock?
We'll do 2 o'clock.
2 p.m.
2 o'clock,
Yeah,
sounds
2
good.
o'clock.
Wait, that's just Monday. Wait a minute, I might be off that day. Now that I said it. What is it? Oh, I am, 23rd?
Yeah.
23rd, I can do it anytime. I'm off that day.
You can keep it in.
2 o'clock down here, don't you?
You want two, or can make it less? Don't matter.
2 o'clock down
I know
here.
you like to sleep in.
Yeah, 2 o'clock down here.
2 o'clock on the 23rd.
Yes. Thank you. But other than that, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Al. Pam?
Oh, I got a list here. We did have a finance meeting on June 12th, just the other day. We discussed, of course, appropriations, where we are, our revenue status, the cost of the employees for the remainder of the year and things like that. Some of it was already covered, but the committee did discuss that they wanted to recommend getting a not a debt collector, what are they called? An environmental attorney to help us with the situation that's going on with INEOS. I know we've talked about this in the past, but we definitely got to do something. I know Bob had mentioned it also. So I don't know where we start with that or what the cost is going to be, but that's definitely something that we have to do for the best interest of the village, of the not knowing what's going on across the street. So I would like to make the motion that we do check into hiring this environmental attorney.
I'll second it.
We're way, way late. She seconded it.
Yeah.
Yes, it-
Okay, second it.
I made a motion, she seconded it.
Oh, motion by Pam Jackson, I'm sorry. Second by Kathy Byess. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yeah.
Pam Jackson.
Yeah. So I don't know if Bob can help us with that or
I'll get you a list.
wherever we can start with somebody.
Yeah,
The
we
other
do at this
thing
point.
the committee, we talked about was, where are we with like the debt collector for Mayor's Court? I haven't heard anything. I know that it's in place, but I don't know that we've got anywhere with them. Don't see anything on
Have
it.
they reported anything to you?
Well,
I mean, they
it would
go to
go
her,
to her, it would go to Erin because they're collecting it and she's got to put it in the Baldwin.
Oh,
So it wouldn't come to me. But we,
We'll check
we'll
into that
check
then.
tomorrow.
Okay. And then again, we discussed about the taxes, what to put on the levy, whether it be Rita, both the water, fire, and EMS, whatever we wanted, decided to do there to help us with the increase in, the loss of revenue for one, it's not gonna help us with that, but we have to be able to pay for the obligations that we have with the increase with the fire and the EMS coverage.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah,
I think you're better off putting that towards the general fund, because if not, you may lose it all
I
on
see what you're
the
saying.
fire levy.
Well, with this, I mean, I received something from Rita, it's like an estimate, but there's more steps involved because of the city of Cincinnati's income tax. That's why I said to have somebody come out there, the professionals, and talk to council on that part of it. And it is true that, like if it's the income tax that follows through, that way council can put it in the general fund and disperse it where they need. If you seek a levy for just public safety and you designate it for police protection, that's where it has to go.
Right.
So it's, like I said, it's something that needs to be really discussed by council, and I think your best bet is hearing from Rita and maybe even having them do an internal audit of all their income tax that from the plant there to see if there's anything that might have been missed that we should have received.
I agree.
So if I can get Rita out here next week on the Monday, the 23rd, would council be able to have a special meeting that evening to meet with
What
them?
day is it?
Monday, the 23rd.
Oh, I'm off every Monday, yeah, I'm good.
What about everybody else? I mean, I'm just, they're the experts. I'm not. They can explain how our current tax, income tax ordinance reads. They can walk you guys through everything and, you know, maybe have an internal tax audit there. I know other communities where they've shut down and they've done that and they have come out, you know, a little bit ahead. So it's worth looking into.
Will you let me know the time? 'Cause
Well, you guys decide.
I'm gonna have to get somebody to take
You
my
gotta
granddaughter.
read it together though, right?
Well, I'm gonna contact Rita. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to have somebody out.
I'm off every Monday and Friday.
Do you want to
so-
plan for a regular council, like a 7 o'clock meeting like we would normally have?
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Jennifer probably does.
That's fine.
That work?
Thank you.
7 PM.
Bob, can you make it then?
I will.
Do you want to make that in the form of a motion so it don't come back and bite us
I'll make a motion, we have a special meeting
with Rita?
with Rita, June the 23rd, 7 o'clock.
Second it.
Motion by Al Glick, seconded by Kathy Byess.
You should do everything that everybody wants that night.
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
One item.
So add on, is there anything to add on to the agenda right away? Besides Rita?
I'll definitely send stuff out.
Or send it
We want
updated.
to talk about.
You got Rita, and then you have the other.
The fire, the
well,
public
it won't be-
safety?
It won't be fire.
Public safety.
Public safety.
Public
general
safety is what I meant
operating
to say.
Levy
Yeah.
would be on there. And the earnings tax ordinance would be on there. There may be an ordinance for what council just said in terms of getting Rita to examine
Their
Keep
audit
it
records.
Environmental?
Audit, yeah, for
Yeah.
over there.
Okay, on the audit.
And the environmental
Lawyer.
lawyer. All those 4 things will be on there that we know of.
Yes.
Is that agreeable to council? So we know what we're talking about and I can post it.
Yeah. I will send information as well so we can get those other ordinances done that we want.
And those are for.
Parks, for the park.
Then I'd add the park on there,
Yeah, for the park.
ordinances for the opening of the park.
Okay, I think we're ready for a vote.
Yep.
Dan Pillow,
Yeah.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yeah.
Kathy Byess.
Yay.
Understand.
It's been one of
Ann
those
Pillow,
days. Yay.
Al Glick,
Yeah.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
I had him sleep.
23rd, right.
Yeah.
Next Monday.
All right, continuing on that. We did have our We Thrive celebration on June 2nd, whatever that was, seems like a long time ago. It was pretty good, I felt that. There were some things that, it was a little better that we were all closer together at the one end, it seemed like. But it seems like we have a lower, about the same as last year. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I did go back and count. There was 112 passports that we actually, people signed up for, but that doesn't include everybody else that was,
Right.
just volunteering and just showed up and didn't do that, didn't participate that way. But it seemed like it was pretty good. And,
I would agree. It was a good celebration. I thought it was very good.
Yeah, it was very nice.
The main men here who really
Yeah.
worked.
Yeah, they
Worked
did.
hard.
Worked really hard.
Thank you
Helped
guys.
us here.
Do you think we would have
Great.
more people if it was later in the day
Yeah.
started?
That's one
Yeah,
thing
that's
that,
one of the
I'll say
things.
later
that
in
I
the day
think
starting,
that,
because people started coming in about 1 o'clock.
yeah, I know it's,
I think
it's
that's
hotter
something
that
in the
part of the
future
day,
we
but
definitely should
Yeah.
discuss, yeah.
yeah.
It was definitely a great event, and I definitely
It
want to
was
thank
good.
the maintenance crew, you guys, thank you so
Right.
much.
You guys rocked.
Being there.
Made it
and
real
helping
smooth.
out.
Getting things together this year, it
That's
was
all.
there, we were ready to go, it wasn't setting up when people were coming in, so that was bad,
Absolutely.
yeah. And we did fine without a stage, seemed like that was okay, it worked out,
Right.
using the
That was a good idea.
flagpole, yeah, moving up there, but yeah. And then thanks to all the vendors, there's our sign over there, I had it up here so we could thank them all, so we don't forget anybody.
Oh,
Yeah, if
We
you
turn it
just
to the
wanna
camera, yeah.
Turn in front of the camera.
And I'm sure, hopefully we didn't miss anyone. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
One more time for Chuck, please.
And also, one person we did forget, I guess, we did have a volunteer from Cleves that come up from their We Thrive group. We'll give them their props there. We are gonna, they did ask if we could help them out on some events. She sent me an email, we said, sure. Just let us know the dates that they need help down there. We'll be more glad to help to get We Thrive rolling again in Cleves. Yeah, because I know you've got one the same day as our event. So try to slide down there and help out if we can, but we've got one going on here too at the same day. And the time, I had it on here, I can't remember now. Is it 11 to 4, if I remember?
I'm sorry.
11 to 4 is your event?
Which day was this again?
The 28th. It's the same day as our
Yeah,
event.
it's actually it's a summer market that
Right, yeah. Yeah.
still can't hear real well. Yeah.
Right, that's okay. Summer market event, that's what they're
Yeah.
calling it. And it's at 92 Cleves Avenue. It is, again, part of We Thrive, just like what we had on our event that we had, a couple weeks ago.
Same building, same parking lot.
It's in the parking lot where the
It's where the
gazebo
water
is.
department's located, and
Yeah.
so yeah, that's our first one for the summer.
Right, and they would like you to bring a dry fruit food donation to go to the free store down there that you have. Other than that, speaking of We Thrive, we do need to get a bigger for our recycling event. That's the recycling dumpster, should I say? Because it's too small. It's been filling up. I keep an eye on it when I take my stuff down there. It seems like there must be empty on Thursday morning or Friday. It's been filled sometimes by Tuesday, and we still have a couple more days left. So we don't want to get where it's overflowing and outside of it if people start setting it there. So I would like to, we've got money in that grant money to do that because it's, can only use it for certain things. So I'd like to get the next size
Bigger
up container so we don't run into that problem, people unloading outside. So far, it looks like I try to peek in there. Looks like people are behaving and reading the signs. I don't see anything that should be in there except for plastic bags. I don't know what we can do about that. But otherwise, it seems to be doing very well. So we just need to, authorize Margret to be able to contact Rumpke to bring a bigger container. So I'll make that motion to do that.
I'll second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, seconded by Al Glick. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yeah.
Kathy Byas,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay. I think that's everything.
You sure?
Yeah, I think.
I
I'm
know
quite a
when we
list.
drive, it is so awesome to see the kids riding
It is.
on their bikes and their scooters. Hand Out with Smile was a great event. It was a
Right.
great event.
Yeah, the first
I
little
just
boy.
had something about the finance thing. We
Yeah.
did, when we had that finance meeting, we were talking about, and I know like Erin's supposed to be like the clerk of courts, going through and looking at her duties now, because she doesn't have all the duties from the courts anymore. So, and then maybe looking into, I hate to say it, possibly having them go part-time so that we can save some money, because with them closing down as fast as they're, laying people off, the funds are gonna start dwindling down. So I make a motion that we look into dropping our full-time employees to part-time.
Look into or doing?
Do it. Looking
Looking in is a different.
Okay, I make a motion to have our full-time employees starting on part-time hours effective August 1st. That'll give them some time.
I'll second it.
Motion by Kathy Byas, seconded by Pam Jackson to all employees? Just
We only
cross
have
the
4
board?
full-time
I'm
employees.
just asking.
Yeah,
Make it clear, okay.
yeah.
All right.
Still second.
Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Nay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Nay.
Kathy Byas,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Nay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Mayor.
Nay.
I guess my question is, as finance, if I can ask, what are we gonna do then?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
And we've had meetings, we've had our get-together, whatever, it's like, we have got, I know we're trying to get these levies. I know, I get with Margaret trying to get as much numbers, and say, how are we doing? She's looking at, we see the numbers too. It's dropping. We can't continue to go the way that we are. We have to do something.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've been trying to do
We've been
it.
trying.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Before we get into the audience discussion, I think I have some discussion just to say that I like to see, not just a motion to do this, but I like to see the I's dotted and the T's crossed. What is the plan to fill in for the part-times, or what their hours are? This should be a document that's really down to the nitty-gritty. As far as I'm concerned, that's what I'm saying. This is a very important document, very important subject. I know we need to save money where we can, but I certainly feel like we need to have more group discussions as a group to get this done.
And the bad part, we've been discussing it and discussing it
And nothing being done.
July.
Yes,
I mean,
you
at the
have.
end of
I
the day,
agree. But
We still have-
do we
we don't have a
have
plan.
a document
Where's the plan?
with the whole
Where's
plan?
the plan?
Yeah, a whole plan.
But at the end of the day, we're gonna be broke and sitting here like, oh, we got a plan.
And then they're not gonna be able to
Now
get
we're
paid.
broke. Well, now what the
Be
hell
that
we're
as
gonna
it
do
may.
in the village? We don't have no money to run the village no more because we're broke. And then every step with a
That's
plan,
out like not
no money.
having a plan. We just need.
You ain't been doing it for 4 months, 5 months.
Mr. King,
I know.
I think
I
the
just-
mayor will allow you
Yeah,
to speak
all
when
right.
it's time for you to speak, but right now,
Get
I'm having
talk.
a discussion. Thank
Tell
you.
them.
And my discussion is done. I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew where I was coming from.
I just know that I've had multiple people call me about coming down here, and a lot of people say the building's closed, nobody's here to take water bills. So they're basically working part-time hours, but still getting all the benefits of using their vacation time, their sick leave, and they're getting paid full-time hours. I had a lady call me who had been trying for 2 months to pay her water bill down here and couldn't get anybody to take it. 2 months.
2 boxes.
I just don't see that for 2 months.
No, I could give you her name and you could talk to her, because I have her name.
Well, we just have to make these cuts. I know they're not pleasant, we've said that, we just have to do it. Hours, right now, we're just mentioning, we can have a meeting to set down what their hours are gonna be. It's obvious the maintenance, we already are using, we had part-time person for them. I know this does affect our supervisor, his hours, but we gotta figure out what works best for them. I know in our policy procedure about starting at a certain hour, we don't do that. We're not doing any of our policies.
You say it doesn't affect his hours?
Yeah, it will affect.
Oh, okay, it will,
Oh, it will.
okay.
It will affect his hours, yes. So we gotta figure out now with them, what's the best plan for them? I mean,
And that's what I'm talking about.
but we can still do that by making
Making a
it effective.
motion
We've got
and
till
then-
August.
Yeah,
We've
making
got
a
till
motion
August
and
to
then sitting
hammer out
together.
I think we.
I mean, you got people coming in early and leaving early.
Yeah, you got people
Right.
coming in at 4:30 in the morning.
That's the
They
bad
had
part.
to pay their water bill at 4 o'clock,
The
5
water
o'clock in the
board clerk
morning.
comes in early, I don't know, some days it's here, whatever, I don't know.
No, 6.
It's 6, but nobody comes in at 6 o'clock in the morning to pay a water bill.
That,
Yeah, there's different things that's happening, I don't even think we even
Then that's a
realize.
different issue. That's a separate issue other than
But it's
whether
been
they should
going
be
on for
employed full
months.
or part-time. And I understand that, but that's a separate issue.
They're still not following our policies
Right.
though.
Then that's a separate issue.
we don't even follow our policy.
Right, we sure don't.
That's what I said,
So
we don't
that's a
enforce,
separate issue.
don't enforce the policy.
Am I putting this on the next meeting or not?
I'm just saying, my point is that we should just get together. I made the motion to pass it so we could get together and figure this stuff out, but the motion failed, so we're not saving any money. So at this point, when did you say they'll be done? By December?
By December,
We might as well-
there ain't no money.
Yeah, go
By December.
dissolve it to Miami Township.
Yeah, we
Because
should
we're
have-
not gonna have enough money to pay anything
Oh,
at
eight.
that
We
point.
should have already been cutting back on savings so we can meet our obligations with the increase of the the fire, EMS.
Not just that.
Already.
Duke
So in
Energy's
September-
increasing,
in
everybody's
September, they
increasing.
lose over half their workforce in 1 month.
Who does?
37 people, 1 month.
1 month?
Going to
September,
affect us.
1 month. That's half their employees. They got 80 over there. They're losing 11 of them in August, 37 of them in September.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's only a few here and there that's straggling along at the end.
Right.
I mean, it's
And I'm not here
basically
to
September's
to
gonna
dispute
be
that point.
big part.
I just think that it should be more of a plan. I think that they matter. I think they should be included.
That's why I'm trying, that's why I said the part-time. I don't want them to be laid off. I mean, at least they have some income coming in. And it's saving the village on top of that. But, I mean, we can't have a plan because we voted it down to sit together and even make a plan with the hours and the times now.
We did not vote down a plan to sit together. We voted down
There
a
you go.
motion to get rid of the
There you go.
part-time, or get rid of our full-time people and make them part-time. That's what we voted on. Now, we should be voting on a date to have a round table to sit down, or several dates for everybody to have their input in.
Can we add this on to the special
Yes.
meeting on
Yeah.
Monday?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's too much on the special.
Yeah, I
meeting.
think it's too much
We
already.
want to do that.
There's way
okay.
too much going on.
I mean, you can put it on
This is
there,
gonna take some
but it's
real
not-
time
It's not gonna
and
work.
effort.
It's not gonna make a difference.
It's not gonna make a difference.
And you know, it
It's
might make a difference after you meet with Rita.
It might for
And they
me.
could do their
It might make a
audit. I
difference for
mean,
me. Once I feel that they are included, I just don't.
How about I
feel like we
set
should just-
one up, I'll send out an
Changes for
email.
me, but details.
I'm off every Monday and Friday.
I think that we should at least sit and talk to them about it.
okay.
We've had details, and you brought details. It goes nowhere.
Yeah, it goes nowhere.
Well, when you have details,
We're not
then you should
saving the
present
village
them.
any.
Well, the details I brought got poo-pooed away, so, so, you know, I'm
Ride it out.
Before I just want to say, I'm sending my condolence to the Petty family. They lost their mom on June the 11th.
Oh, yeah.
Betty died, so.
yeah.
Actually, there
Sorry
was
to
more
hear
than, there was more than Betty. We
Oh,
had
Mr. Young.
Ronnie Young, who passed away, who was
Absolutely.
originally from Addyston. And my cousin Carl Hawk passed away too.
Yeah.
I didn't know him.
Yeah,
so-
no, he's around Dan's
Went to
age,
school.
probably.
Went to school.
He's the
Carl.
one that he had a heart transplant about, what, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
25 years ago,
He
something
literally had
like
a
that?
mechanical heart.
Yeah,
A mechanical heart that he lived with
Right.
for,
I think he just, at the end there, I think he just decided that
yeah.
it was time.
Yeah,
So that was
absolutely.
3 in the village.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so now I'm gonna move to our maintenance guy. You were finished, correct?
He's just looking like,
Oh, that was Gabriel.
Happy to be here. How about that? All righty. Just a couple quick items. There's going to be a contractor installing fiber along the south side of US 50. It's Urban Cable Company. They should not interfere with anything on the north side of 50. If any problems, let me know. I got a contact name and number. Like I said, they should be starting, they said June/July, no exact date. I asked them by email to send me a courtesy email, like, you know, a week before you're going to start, just so we know. And I did also an email, make sure that they talk to NEOs as well, let them know what's going on, because all the activity is going to be going on that side of the street. I got a phone call from MoDOT today stating that a paving contractor will be starting working evenings, starting tonight, weather permitting. They're going to start along US 50, all the ripples, potholes, and so forth.
Wow.
Between Addyston and including North End. Starting tonight, they should be done by the end of the week, weather permitting. If not, it may overlap into next week.
That'd be nice, because there's some ripples up there.
Sure is. Make it look like you got a DUI driving down 50.
Yes, so just so you know that's going on, I did let Lieutenant Dan know. So if he sees some traffic control going on with ODOT, they're aware of what's going on. So, if we can back up just one step with the PRV conversation we had. You know, this PRV is something that has to be fed every 6 months. This thing has to be tested and inspected. at minimal every 6 months. And if it's tested, inspected, something fails, at that 6-month interval, it needs to be corrected. But then also, you know, within every 12 months, ideally it's rebuilt. The inner components of this thing are rebuilt. If not, it's unreliable.
Who's rebuilding it? Is it the city of Cincinnati rebuilding it, or we pay for it to get it rebuilt?
Addyston owns the device, so just so everybody knows, this is something that has to be fed all the time.
Yeah, and I have a question
For it to be
too,
reliable.
to do with our connection. What have we done with this in the past? I mean, we've had, what do we do? I mean, we thought we had a connection,
Yeah.
like a backup, like if something happened with our water system. This is terrible for the residents of the village. If something happens tomorrow, what are we gonna do?
It already happened. Well, it's funny you say that. Well, I talked to Cincinnati when this first came down, and we did tried to work with a different company to get quotes, but these PRVs are their own little monster. They're kind of unique, very finicky. Like I said, the static pressure is 181 PSI on the inlet side of this thing. If this thing is not regulating the pressure down to Addyston pressure, bad things will happen. Plumbing will be damaged, water main breaks will occur, and so forth. I mean, they're very sensitive, that's why it's unreliable now. But to answer your question, Cincinnati told us that whatever happens, if something bad happens in the middle of the night, we lose our well pumps, call them, and this is one of the superintendents, and they said, we'll show up, we'll get it working, we'll get you back in water and work out the details later. So it may be a 24-hour span that we're struggling here, but my time when I was with the city of Cincinnati, what we did was I had a similar issue with the community, and what we did was we came from Cincinnati's fire hydrant into the other company or small little entity municipalities fire hydrant with 6-inch fire hose and put an inline regulator in just to reduce the pressure down to get them back in the water. And you still be on low pressure, you know, have to notify the fire department, but at least we have something, you know, so that's what Cincinnati said the plan would be. Call them in the middle of the night, middle of the day, Sunday, Monday, holiday, Christmas, whatever. They're not going to leave us without water. They're going to do everything in their power to get us back in.
That's good, yeah, because in the past, we called them and we opened it.
Right,
Well,
In the past.
it's funny
that's what I said.
because
I know he wasn't here.
I was the field supervisor for Greater Cincinnati.
He's the one who
Waterworks.
turned it on.
I turned it on, and this was, you had an issue over where a transformer had blown lightning or something, and Addyston was out of water. And I was on second shift at that time, and the superintendent called me and said, hey, go down and turn that regulator on. I said the same thing. I said, regulator, what? But either way,
Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Wilson.
You remember me?
I got you, Alfred. Good guy.
Alfred.
Good. AKA Red, yes, good guy.
Helping us as well.
Yes, good guy.
Mhm.
But this thing has to be maintained,
Mhm.
like you say, or it has no value.
Well,
It's
that's something
neglected.
they'll have to put in their budget.
So, anyhow.
Well, I guess that should be a part of what we don't have any choice, but at
Yeah.
this point, but to know what the repairs might be with the internals.
Yes, yes, and with this quote, we're getting a full replacement. They quoted it as a full replacement, worst case scenario, so.
That was a 13,000, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think we can reach out to April and tell her council's decided to move on it
Yeah.
and see what, you know, I'm pretty sure we're gonna, I don't know, a couple times I've sent her the invoices and they've paid them direct.
We'll
So,
just have to make sure.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to do it like we've been doing the other ones.
yeah, right, so.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Any information on that First Street project?
On the First Street Improvement Project, it's supposed to start on or around July, first part of July.
Sean was said he would get back with me when we have a solid date.
Because people keep asking me, so I just want to make sure I give them some kind of roundabout date.
Keep moving
They're
this
wearing
on.
me out.
It's July.
People call here and they say, well, I'm not from Addyston and I have to go all the way around. And I say, well, I am from Addyston and I have to go all the way around.
Well, you read the sign, but the weird part, 4 times a night, you can ask Andre, we go up and check signs every day on First. Today they were in the bushes.
Yeah.
So basically said-
wow.
And somebody took a, looks like a green paintball gun and.
Somebody's really mad.
Because that's signed.
I
We
just-
need to get that road fixed,
That's all.
so there we go.
Anyhow, that's all.
We've got them to fix it, we just gotta get them here to fix it, that's all.
Thank you.
Got them to fix it.
Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address council? Yeah, I know you're itching. Get on up there, Kate.
Come on, Ed.
Go ahead.
Speaking of that water, is there anything on South Road connects to our waterworks?
Nothing I'm aware of.
Does anybody know if the South Road has any city water comes down to tie in?
No, it's Addyston, it's all fed by Addyston water, and in fact,
So how far does it go up Addis, or up South Road?
it would go to the corporation line.
And it stops there?
I believe so, and then if you go out hillside and you go up hillside, Gillian's, they use our water. The horse farm, they all use
They
our
do.
water
The
out
reason I
that way.
say that, we were out, was 6 months ago when you first started, when the water broke out there. If that line would have been hooked up, we still wouldn't have had any water on the other end. There's no backfeed to feed, that breaks in between. Fiddler's Green's the only place we hook up with the city, right?
Yes.
Physical connection I'm aware of.
Right, that's what I'm just kind of concerned. Well, is it better off if we just go city right now, not pay $13,000, and just let them come in and take over this whole system and we're done? We don't have to spend any money. Save yourself $13,000. What are we waiting for? The pipes are shot, the tower's shot, the generator's shot, and we're just kicking this ball all the way down the street again. So let's just jump in and let them go ahead and sign up, get a committee going.
Cincinnati or Cleves, one or the other, we have
Let's
a
take
better option.
Cincinnati, because you know what's gonna happen to Cleves later, you know? Let's just do Cincinnati, we're already hooked into it.
I mean, that'd be
That's
something we have
part
to
of
sit
your
around.
committee discussion.
I mean, that's just one of them, because you're just Band-Aiding. You said a few weeks ago, well, listen to the meeting, that's all we talk about is the park. Park. You do more time in that park than we do the roads and anything. Not just you, I mean, if you're getting a grant money, it's fine, but it kind of pisses me off. Back out of my driveway in a hole, we drive down the street in a hole, the streets are shot, you're Band-Aid. You don't have enough money to bail out if you sit with all these committees. So it's a matter of time to just get this thing rolling. So laying off these guys, let's take all of our salaries away and give it to, these guys do a hell of a job. This
They
village
do.
has looked really nice.
And that was discussed.
They really do.
Definitely
And
was
that
on the
was
table.
discussed.
You know, I mean,
That was
it's, you know,
discussed.
I heard it cost $80,000 for all this right here.
More than that.
Well, we don't have that money. It's not, you know what, nobody's against it. It was nice when it ran, but they're gone. And you can't keep going over there and asking them for more money or hire a lawyer to see if it's contaminated. It's done, it's over with. Let's go to the next step. Let's save that money. If we go to the township, these two guys probably go full-time with the maintenance department. Because they're not gonna need more. I mean, these guys do a lot of work down here. This place is really looks
They
sharp
do.
looking.
They
The
do.
park looks
No
nice,
doubt about
but we don't have the money for the park right now, Danny.
Look, we're not,
I'm just saying.
we're not putting any of our money in the park yet.
Well, you
How many
said,
times
she
do we have
just
to
told,
say
she
that?
told me we got $30,000 out because we can't finish the park. Is that right, Margaret?
We have not received the full money from when we filed the first report.
That's a lot of money.
Well,
And it's not 30.
Well, how much is it?
I think it was like 19,000.
Still a lot of money.
Well, yes.
And she said we're not gonna get it back until they finish the park. Now, when are we gonna finish it?
No, we're working on, and I'm as big a culprit as anybody in getting the type of money, the in-kind money that we need to put in there, putting that together. But the problem is, that can't be your vision, is that the park is costing the village money. Because it's not
Who's
costing
cutting
us
the
money
grass?
at this
Who's cutting
point.
the grass?
Our guys, that's part of
Is
their
that,
duty.
is that coming out of the grant money or is that coming out of general
It
fund?
comes out of the jury fund. They do it with whatever else.
Okay, but we added that to it. It was something we added to it, but at the time, we probably had the money. But now we don't have the money. So all the stuff we had down over the weekend, is that all grant money that we're doing?
Yes.
Drive.
So why don't we have the damn festivals on the street and then blacktop the street and then have the grant pay for it?
I'm okay with whatever you come up with.
I'm just saying, but you sit there and we worry about this. Let's really worry about, she's got a bill to pay for the police, we got a bill to pay for the fire,
Yeah.
okay? Pretty much broken after that. You have no money to put away to fix Suxantan and all these other streets, you'll never get them fixed.
I agree.
So we gotta look into the future. So, you know, when you don't start fixing these streets, then your property values are gonna start dropping. Then you're gonna start losing money. So when you keep saying we gotta get a committee, when's the last time we were down here talking about this? When the news was here? And you were gonna set a committee up and get all this stuff out.
And we,
And we're at the same spot, and just like you said, we'll probably be broke by December. Then what do we do? Let the state come in, take it over, or why don't we get this on the ballot? If we go township, get the trustees in, see how you're gonna transfer the power and the debt and the money, and be done.
All right, thanks, Ed,
All
appreciate
right, I'm
it.
done.
I'm gonna move on. Is there anybody else?
oh, there's probably talk afterwards.
I could speak for hours on this, but I'll try to make it brief.
And who are you, sir?
Richard Chalice from Erlanger, Kentucky, 11 miles away from here. For the, by the way, the reporter from the Inquirer asked me to come in and talk to you all. I have been a victim of this plant for 44 years, since 1981. I have a problem. I have an idiosyncratic reaction to the butadiene that they have here at this plant. It causes me convulsions at night time, sometimes 17 at a time. And I'm not the only victim. The victim also is the people here in Addyston. You're at ground zero. This is where it is. Where I'm 11 miles away. In fact, my wife had to buy a box seat at the symphony so that when I had a bout there, 15 or so people in the symphony would have to get up and leave because of the pollution that came through the symphony there at Music Hall. So it shows you how far away this plume does. My son went to Villa Madonna Academy. 80% of the nuns have died of cancer there. So what we did back in 2005, we saw an article from the Inquirer, and it represented some of the problems that I was having. So I got a hold of my Senator Mitch McConnell. My wife went to school with him, by the way. And he acquired the services of the best toxicologist in the state, which was Paul Coble, to come in and check this out. He found out that there was 50 times more cancer-causing problems in Solicitor that this plant was emission. I also, my wife even suffers from this diarrhea sometimes when it's really bad. But the problem we have over where I live, it's about 4 hours when you all get it to when I get it. So if it goes out of the plant at something like 11 o'clock from here, I get it around 3:30 in the morning, which is most of the time that I get it. And we're not talking about one time, we're talking about in the last, I have, this started in 2005. By the way, Ruth Breach, who is the daughter of Jim Breach, the place kicker, for Cincinnati Bengals, she was the head of the Wiehe Citizens Action Committee, which I joined. She said, make a journal of every time you have a bout. Well, from 2005, I have it down here to 2025. I've had over 15,000 bouts. And so when I've been dealing with the Inquirer, I'm sorry they've dealt with me on dealing with some of the, they consider corruption. I like to, if any of you all want to know exactly what this thing is, I suggest you look at the report from the, it's called the Ennius Consent Form degree, I'm sorry. And you can get that. In fact, I can send it to you if you really wanted to have it. And what it states in there is that there has been, well, the U.S. Assistant U.S. Attorney General in this area here for southwestern Ohio put part of my problems that I had into the consent decree. But they also listed Chris Theobald, and I'd like to report what he had to say on it. He says, hello all, hope all is well. I've been in Addyston, Ohio boating for years in the Catalina Harbor. I know that in times the owner of the marina, Steve Todd, would tell us that for years he and his family received money from NES-ABS for not dredging his marina. I will always remember them laughing at how they would just get money from NES-ABS for not dredging their property due to the fact that it was polluted. I hope that you do the right thing. There are many kids in the neighborhood that play in the marina, that fish and play in the suet. Just do what is right. Thank you, Chris Theobald. It was not the only corruption, by the way, money taken either. I got a hold of Steve Todd and I said, I'd like to go over there with a bucket and do some dredging ourselves, so take it to, he would not let me do it. But I've gone to about 20 lawyers on this. They say you're too small. The fellow that owns this thing, Sir James Radcliffe from England, is worth $78 billion. He owns this plant over here. They said, we can't go up against that guy. But they said, if you could ever get the city itself to do a class action suit, you all wouldn't have to be worried about money right now. I can tell you that right now. That I will allow all the hundreds of documents that I have pertaining to this case at your all's disposal anytime you want it. But what you ought to look, instead of looking for an environmental lawyer, look for a class action suit lawyer. And you've got all these citizens here of Addyston that have been suffering, and their kids have suffered. Cancer doesn't happen right off the bat. It's usually 10, 15 years before it comes into place. But we're talking about tens of thousands of people that have suffered from cancer from this plant. And so they, you know me from the Ohio Citizens Action, we've gone out together and talked about things like this, but what they, you know, by the way, I'm sorry, Ms. Merge, you had to cancel all those things. I made inquiries for you to call me and so on this, but you can, on your website, on your voicemail and everything. Also sent email too, but I don't know if you ever check it out.
I did. I thought, well, I spoke to someone today, I called back.
Not
Must
to me.
not, yeah.
Wasn't to me.
Okay. That's who I
No,
thought showed up.
no, you can cancel all those. That's the Inquirer and reporter, and so called me up and said, "You're having a meeting tonight." I didn't know if you all were or not. After all this stuff that's happening with Ennis and so, but may I suggest or propose that you all look into a class action suit. I'm telling you, it looks worse than the Roundup suit, to be honest with you. For the people here of Addyston, even over here at Sailor Park, and so we, surprisingly, Erlanger itself is east of the plant. So we get the westerly winds coming in right in my area. We get the Bloomville here.
I'm not sure.
So, and not only that, I talked to site man, I emailed, and he emailed me back. Site director Brian Lucas, another arrogant manager, and he told me, he said, there's no problem, we've checked it out. You've got the EPA doing the checking out, and they're getting paid by whom? They're getting paid by Ennis to do the checking. You talk about a conflict of interest, and they're saying everything's okay, it's not. I'm still suffering, by the way, even though they've reduced drastically. We were hoping that June 30th, they were going to close the doors, and we were going to have, my wife and I were going to have a celebration of unbelievable. She's had to suffer from me having to go downstairs, my son crying his eyes out when I'm having a bout or something like that when he was a kid. Now he's 43 years old, so he's doing better now, but it's just, I thought I'd come here, talk to you all, and see if you think instead about worry about $1,000 here, $1,000 there,
I know, I didn't talk to him.
millions of dollars you can get from this thing, I'm sure, because you all have suffered from the cancer. And Paul, like I say, Paul Coble, the toxicologist, he closed up the Hutchins School that you all had here. And he told me, he says, he was sorry about it, but, you know, we got the company fined $3.1 million for pollution. That was probably about 3 weeks of work for them. But do they care about you all? No, they don't care. You got a scumbag up there in London that looks at you all, you know, just like chowder or something like that.
We got some trees.
We got trees.
Absolutely.
We did get trees.
It's just,
Did you work there, sir?
no, that's, to be honest with you, I probably know more about Addyston than you all do, because I had to deal with it so many times. But, and especially at night, no, I work for the airport, and I'm the same age as the ex-president, so I'm up there in years myself, but since 1981, and you know, when I was looking back, when I moved to Highland Heights, Kentucky, which is 20 miles away from here, they said, well, you have tremendous allergies, even over there. So I remember having to stop and not being able to sing at my school at Highlands High School, because I lose my voice all the time. They were saying, you just have allergies. Turned out it was Monsanto at that time. So instead of worrying about getting extra dollars here and there, look at how you suffered and how I suffered. And the only way the lawyer said, we can't go up against them for myself, because I've been trying for about 20 of them, and so they say you have an excellent case, but we lose our law practice. You have to get an enormously big class action suit.
What is your name, sir?
Richard Chalice, Challis. And like I say, I can send in you all the Ennius consent decree that Assistant U.S. Attorney here in Southern Ohio put in there, because he said you need to have your items in this decree, because they haven't been acted on. So you can see what I've had to go through, what my wife's had to go through, and it's just like I say, it's lighter now because they're cutting down. And they care about your people. By the way, of Addyston, back there in 2014, when they were they had 404 people working at the plant, 4 from Addyston being custodians. And 80% of the people were from Indiana, which is west of here, so they wouldn't get the fumes. So everybody knows exactly what's happened. No manager, site manager has ever lived close to Addyston, because they know exactly what you all are putting out here. So instead of going down, just looking, for ways out of this, your community has suffered, and I think it should be taken care of.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And if you could you step up here for just a minute, please?
Who?
You.
Oh, yes.
Because I looked for you in my email and everything.
I'm sorry about that. That may have put down
I
wrong.
want to make sure you have
I appreciate
the correct
that.
information.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate
I did
that.
a search and I have nothing from you.
I don't know, I put it off on I apologize for that. I may have
But
done
hey,
wrong.
There you go.
Thank you.
You get my phone number and everything. Thank you so much. Is there anyone else?
I'll just be real brief, Mayor.
If I could, real quick, just butt in real quick. I apologize, we have a call waiting for me to respond to. I just have the report. Would you like me to read it off? Just want to give it to you.
Did you guys want him to read off the lieutenant's report? You do have it in your packet.
I've got it.
We've got our
You
emails.
got an email?
Yeah, we
Okay.
got it.
I do apologize for being late.
Yeah, we
but
got it.
You guys are good.
We're good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Justin Havig. I'm the administrator for the Village of Cleves.
I wasn't going to speak tonight, I was just here in case you had any questions as you brought it up. But I just wanted to speak quickly with some information that came out of the crowd. Village of Cleves did submit a grant to potentially tap in with the Village of Addyston, extend our infrastructure down to you along US 50 and provide fire protection, as well as all the infrastructure, the full scope of the project, which is $800,000. That would require a lot of conversation, ultimately an agreement between the Village of Cleves and Addyston. I would appreciate if we could schedule some time to meet and discuss that in the near future. At the end of the day, we want to be a good partner. We understand the struggle. If it comes to replacing the PRV valve to ensure that you guys have an adequate hook in until you find a permanent solution, that's something that the Village of Cleves would be willing to assist you with maybe some sort of 0% loan or something to get you by to make sure it's done if capital's a problem at this point. And so, with that, I don't have anything else. I look forward to hopefully discussing this award in the near future and maybe getting something.
What's your 800,000 for?
Well, it's the full scope of the project.
What new lines get done?
So it would bring a minimum of a 12-inch main into Addyston that would tap in here at your corp limit, and it would have a meter pit and a PRV valve.
So nothing on site, all our lines in the village then?
It would provide
wanted to-
tap the current, it would
That's why I
tap the current
said
infrastructure for the Village of
It's
Addyston.
so new.
Just as Fiddler's Green connection does.
Yeah.
With that, there's emergency water rates, and those are kind of associated with bulk water rates. That's something, as we have these discussions, which this isn't the forum for. I know that the Village of Cleves, being a longtime neighbor to Addyston, we would offer a rate that's far competitive to anyone else.
I was just kind of taken back.
Our
the fact
water
that I
comes from the
had
Great Miami Aquifer. It's the same aquifer that the city of Harrison sits on and a lot of other water plants. We have the capability of producing well over 2 million gallons a day. Our current service capacity is around 700,000. I believe Addyston sits right around 100,000.
My biggest concern was that the first time I heard about this grant and stuff was through the news. Like, this council didn't know anything about it
Right.
at all. We didn't know anything about it.
Right, and truth be told, we didn't know much either. This was a collaborative effort with really a company called RCAP, which is a Rural Community Action Partnership, which has been working with Addyston, closely tied with the INEOS dealings and also OEPA. And so the grant had actually closed by the time I was aware of it. And RCAP and OEPA reached out. They actually reopened the grant submission period and submitted on our behalf. The seriousness of this issue, our award was their number one award out of hundreds.
Is your water the same as ours, or is it like the city's?
So our water is, we have no, we're tested every 3 years. We actually just tested. We have no PFAS, no VOCs. We have 22 grains of hardness, so we do have hard water, but that's because it's natural water out of the aquifer. So it's the same aquifer that, like I said, Harrison gets theirs from. They've recently installed a reverse osmosis water softener, so they push about 7 grains of water. But no, it's not the same aquifer that you receive your water from.
Yeah. I'm with Kathy. I just think that the conversations was mentioned somewhere. Parties were talking. We should have known about that as council for the Village of Addyston. Because why will we be sitting here today asking him about the city connection when this is in the works, or you could help us out?
Well, absolutely, and I understand that, and I appreciate it, and I don't want anyone to feel that myself or Cleves Waterworks is one behind your back. We were approached by partners that have been working loosely with the Village of Addyston, and we submitted the recommendation just for the potential of this. We had no idea if there would be an award. There was an award on Wednesday of last week. I was out of the office and I didn't become aware of it until some media outlets reached out to me. I haven't had any conversations with them, and that's why I'm here this evening. I thought the most appropriate place was to start with you. and have discussions, one-on-one. So
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
As far as the group he's talking about, RCAP,
RCAP.
they're the ones that the Village Water Board has worked with historically
Still doing
for on
so.
grants and stuff. If anybody heard any of us mention the name Wayne Cannon, he's the one that has really been working with the mayor, plus Kurt Strickland, different ones like that.
Wayne
for the,
retired.
End of Second Tan, that project down there with the water and,
The street project.
the street
yeah.
rehabilitation that has to do with the water and stuff down there. But RCAP's not new to the village of Addyston.
Oh,
They have been around, and the water board does, we have had loans with them.
I wonder why they know our condition.
Well, yeah.
And I wonder why they didn't reach out to us as well. Yeah.
Right.
You know, they.
Well, I do have meetings with them once a
Any help
month.
is great help.
Okay. We'd like to be a good partner wherever we can. If anyone has any questions for me, I'll answer them now. Otherwise, I would love to, maybe be able to attend a meeting in the near future to talk about it more in depth.
I just have one. Once you hook that up, would you maintain, or please maintain the water, or is Addyston still have their own water then?
No.
So Addyston would still maintain, at this point, the scope of this project would just be a water connection. It's just, it's a larger meter, 1 meter, and basically Addyston would become one consumer. Now their rate would be separate from, and inside, we have set different water rates, whether you're in the village, county, unincorporated. This would be a newly established and agreed bulk water rate that they would pay
Right.
Cleve's Waterworks, and then they would distribute it to customers.
So I get this right, when we hooked up, we have that, but we're still responsible for all of our lines and everything inside the village yet that has to be replaced.
At this point, yes, they would.
Okay.
I know that there's
I just
other,
want to, so we don't think we're getting allowance
Right.
for something. We're not, it's between city or Cleve's, which you're coming down to now.
It's just a connection.
It's connection, okay.
just a connection, yes.
I have a question, you may or may not know the history of it, but dealing with the waterworks when I was in maintenance a lot, obviously we have some very, what we call.
Is that my car?
Everybody check your
That must be a sign.
I don't think mine.
Every one of us.
Anyway, I understood that Cleves had sort of the same problems we have with black water until they got their new system, and it sort of cleaned out their system a bit. Is there any truth to that or any background to that?
Mr. Pillow, I can't speak to what it was. I think you're speaking back when our wells were located on the quarry where, kind of the gravel pits down there where the school's built now.
Absolutely.
I don't know that there was ever contamination in the water.
No contamination, just discoloration at times.
And I don't, honestly, I don't know. Luckily, we're in our last year, so we have one payment left to pay our water distribution plan on Kilby Road off completely.
Wow.
And I can tell you that, not to brag about our water, we get a lot of complaints that it's hard, but that doesn't mean it's bad water. We have pristine water to the point where our testing is only once every 3 years. And they thought they had a false negative the first time that they came in and took it, so they retested again. So at this point, and we're susceptible like anybody else is, being on the Great Miami. But we have no concerns with contamination of our water, no discoloration. It is natural, mineral-rich water, so it does carry hardness. And with that, our consumers, we recommend that they have standalone residential water softeners, which cost about $400 for a residential unit. You got one for me?
Thank you. I'm getting tired. I'll go home.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
I make a motion. Go ahead.
Motion we adjourn.
I second it.
I was waiting.
Motion by Al, second
Waiting
by
on Dan
Kathy
over
to
here to get me real
adjourn.
quick.
And call for
She's
second.
tired
Dan
today.
Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yeah.
Kathy Byess.
Oh, yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Mayor Burkholz, thanks for dropping in. My pleasure, Dan. Absolutely.